There was only one time where I considered setting the tank back up. A couple questions, I suppose you're probably wondering, do I miss it? All individual drain lines for all 12 tanks on the top row. G'day guys, Jason here. Welcome back to my fish room. So it's been a long while since I posted my last video about the fish room being up for sale. And I'm happy to report, although some of you may be upset about this, that it did sell. And it sold within 2 days of that video coming out, thankfully. It's just taken quite a while for the purchaser to get ready to take all the tanks, and that is all happening this weekend. So I'm filming a video about it, obviously. He's actually also agreed to have a video come out which will be showing all the tanks all set up at his place. So I'm really excited to see that all happen, and it's actually going to feel quite weird, obviously, for me. These are all my babies, and yeah, it's going to actually feel really strange to see this room empty. But it needs to happen. So it's all happening over this weekend, and I can't believe it's almost here. So today, what I intend to do is disconnect all the plumbing so these tanks can be freely lifted off these stands and put onto the truck. So that's what I'm going to be doing now, and it's hard for me to do because I put weeks of planning and building, gluing it all together, cutting it all up, all that PVC all up, putting it all together, and now to cut it all up is going to be hard. But I'll get over it, I'll get through it, and it shouldn't be too hard. So what I'm planning on doing is I'll show you around the other side. I'm going to be disconnecting the drain line, the common drain line for the top row tanks. Has 12 tanks draining into that common drain line that feed down to the sump. I'm going to just drop that drain line out of the drains. The common drain line isn't actually glued to the downpipes, to those drain pipes. It's just held in place with some wire. That's done the job for me. And so I'll just try and get that out in one piece. I'm going to try and make as less cuts as possible. He's going to have to do some modifications himself at his place, but that's okay. The least cuts I make for him, the easier it is for him to set it all back up. So yeah, I'm going to be just dropping out the drain lines, and then hopefully I'll be making like 1 or 2 cuts here and there on the return lines and just lifting that whole length of return line out. Obviously on the top row there's 12 return lines because there's 12 drain lines, 12 tanks. This one, this row, the middle row, has 6 tanks along it, and obviously 6 drain lines and 6 return lines. So just 1 cut on each level. I'm going to label it all for him so he knows how to connect it back up. And then the 2 4-footers, that's going to be really easy, just disconnecting the drain lines there, and 2 return lines into those tanks. These tanks are really easy because they were never plumbed up. I did drill them, and I got the sump, never used that sump. Bit of a waste of time because I got really overdoing plumbing work for fish tanks, and it wasn't too hard for me to do water changes on this rack. Obviously it would have been easier if it was all connected up into one system, but it is what it is. So these tanks are drilled, ready to be plumbed up if the new purchaser decides to do all that. They're all ready to go. The glass will just require some sanding. And Josh, you'll probably be able to use this video as a little bit of a tutorial to see how to connect everything back up, because you'll be able to see how I'm disconnecting everything anyway. So it's probably a good thing that I'm filming it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to actually seeing it set up at his place and seeing what he can do with it. And I wish him all the success in the future with his fish room. He's already got a lot of fish tanks himself. He's already got a fish room set up, and this is going to bump up the amount of tanks he's got at his place. So pretty crazy. But yeah, so a couple of you guys have also asked what I've been doing in the meantime. Obviously been working on the house, getting that ready, but I've completely re-landscaped the front yard. That took about 2 months to do, myself and with a couple mates. And but in the meantime, I've got another hobby that doesn't require half an hour a day in here feeding live animals, feeding fish, and 3 hours a week doing water changes. And I'm going to do a separate video about that because some of you obviously won't be interested in hearing about what I've been doing for the last few months. But some of you do want to see that, so I'll do that separate video about that on what's been going on in my life and my new hobbies. So, but yeah, a couple questions I suppose you're probably wondering, do I miss it? I have to be really brutally honest with you guys, and I don't miss it at all. It got to the point where I dreaded coming in here, And again, I'm sorry, I know it probably upset a lot of you guys out there because you were looking forward to the videos coming out all the time, and I was so amazed that you guys wanted to see those videos, and it actually surprised me at how upset some people got about me shutting down the fish room. But my heart wasn't in it anymore, and the fish would suffer, and it wasn't right to keep going, and I needed to do it anyway. So there was only one time where I considered setting the tank back up, and it's because my all-time favourite fish was finally available in New South Wales, Australia, and it was the Lamprologus Kendali. I asked several times to several fish stores to see if they could bring them in, and they all pretty much said no. And then Chris at All Fish to You, about 2 months after I shut down the fish room, he had some available at his shop, and I saw them for sale on his website, and I thought, far out the timing, geez, really? Like, I just couldn't believe it, because I asked around even like wholesaler in Naguna if they could bring them in, and that no one wanted. I don't know if they wanted to bring it in or if they just couldn't bring it in, but no one could bring them. No one brought them in. Yeah, the timing. 2 months after shutting it all down, my favourite fish of all time that I've never had before, never seen in the flesh, only in photos. Lamprologus Kendali. You can see photo here. Absolute beautiful looking fish. Absolute predator. Like, you look at a barracuda, you look at this thing, and they look so similar to me. It would have been awesome to get them and to breed them and do a breeding video on them for you guys, but it wasn't to be. Somehow, sometimes the universe works in mysterious ways. But it was just a brief moment for a few days where I was like, oh, far out. I've missed out on my all-time favourite fish, wanting to get these fish. And by about 2 months, it was just so ironic. But it was bound to happen eventually. They were eventually going to find their way into Sydney. I never got my hands on them, unfortunately. But it is what it is. And then, I've gone days without coming into this room. And I'm sorry to say, but I don't miss it at all. I honestly find it amazing that there's guys out there with fish rooms that have even double, triple the amount of aquariums that I have, and they aren't even on sump systems. Incredible amount of work and dedication goes into that from those people. And actually, I get reminders on my phone from Google. Here's a photo you took this day 5 years ago, and it's me, cutting up the plumbing for the fish room, getting it all glued up together. The first time I filled the tanks with water, and that does make me wonder, what did I do? Why am I really getting rid of all this? I put so much time and effort into everything, designing the room and deciding on the size of the tanks that I wanted, and just planning and getting the business up and running. And it was making really good income for me. It was a nice little side hustle, and I switched it all off basically. So seeing those reminders pop up on my phone do kind of hurt, but again, I don't miss it. I really don't. I've actually been putting off disconnecting the plumbing for a number of days, and I keep meaning after work, I'll disconnect it, and I just don't get around to doing it. So I just can't be bothered coming in here. But I'm glad it's going to a good home, a good bloke. He's gonna have a ball with these tanks. And a lot of you guys are going to be happy to hear he's a Tanganyikan guy. He's into Tanganyikan cichlids, and he has heaps of rare stuff that I haven't even kept. But anyway, let's get cracking and start dismantling this plumbing. Okay guys, so these are the inlet lines. Okay, and they all run off a common inlet line, and then they all individually tee off into each aquarium. So what I'm going to do is cut this off at one of the main lines that runs up from the sump. But then these are all the drain lines, all individual drain lines for all 12 tanks on the top row, and they all drain into this common drain line all the way along. And like I said, they just sit in here. This isn't watertight. So some, you can see there's like mineral buildup, calcium build up. That's from the minerals that are in the water when evaporation occurs. They do get some creep coming out of these because they're not watertight. You can see I did try to put PVC cement on here, but just quickly realized it wasn't required, and that just sitting them in this pipe is going to be fine enough. Now these pipes are empty, there's no water in them, because if you follow this drain line all the way down to the sump, you can see the sump is empty, obviously, and it just drains into there. So I'm hoping to just, I've got these metal brackets with wire that hold the PVC pipe up, obviously because it's filled with water, got a lot of weight in it, and it isn't glued to this, so it'll just obviously pop off. So these metal wires and brackets hold the drain line in place. And yeah, I've got a similar system on the middle row with some L brackets, so elbows all the way along, that just holds this PVC pipe in place as well. So like I said, all I'm going to do is take these off, and this drain line should just really pop off, and that'll be it. And then all the drain lines will just be obviously exposed and lower than the tank level. So Josh is going to have to sit the tanks on their side. Then I won't have to cut any pipes, because it's just completely unnecessary to cut the pipes when they're cut down here. Only if you were to cut the pipe, obviously it'd be easier to sit the tanks on their bases, but then it's going to take Josh a lot more time to connect everything back up, and I don't want to have to do that to him. I want to save him some time. So yeah, let's set this pipe off, and hopefully it doesn't snap into or more pieces. And you can see here they've got the joints. It's all about 1 meter length, each length of PVC here. There's the middle row, same kind of deal. So this, I'll show you where I'm going to cut for the top row. So this line here feeds the top row of tanks water. So that's the inlet line. So there's a bit of an elbow. So I'm going to cut it somewhere, maybe say here. Obviously I put the junction for the water to flow into the tanks in the middle of the 12 tanks. So each 6 tanks on either side of this junction got a good amount of water flow. And if I didn't do that, if I say started it over that end, the 12th tank all the way down there wouldn't get as much water as quickly as the tank obviously closer to that main line. So having the junction in the middle, I thought when I was designing this, would be best. And yeah, just to equal the water flow out as evenly as possible across all 12 tanks on the top row. There's a similar thing with the middle row of tanks. There's the junction point for the water coming into the middle row. So it goes there, and then it goes off to 3 tanks on that side and 3 tanks on this side. And the same deal with the drain lines. I'll just pop this off, and we'll be done. All the tanks will be disconnected. And the good thing with the tanks on the middle row, the drain line is pretty short and is above the bottom of the tank. So Josh will be able to sit these tanks, the middle row of tanks, on their bases for transportation. And then lastly, the bottom row, I'm just going to completely disconnect the lines. These are the drain lines, and this is an inlet. And yeah, there wasn't the greatest plumbing job in the world on the bottom row tanks, but it was only 2 tanks, so I wasn't too concerned. And then these 2 tanks drain into the sump through a bulkhead, whereas the middle row and top row drain into the sump just via the side here. So top row, this is the top row drain line, this is the middle row drain line, as you can see. Anyway, I'll get cracking with disconnecting this all up, and yeah, we'll see how we go. And what took months of work to connect up is all undone in this jumbled mess in an hour. I wish I could have stacked it better, but not much I can do about it with all the different elbows and stuff and whatnot. It's the only place I can put it for now. Some of the lines split in half, like this one here, the top row drain line, split in half. But at least it's one section to PVC cement, not 17 of them. So it's going to be a lot easier to put together than it was for me to put together. And everything's labelled like this. It's a 5-footer drain line, then into the sump, then into the tank, all that kind of business. So it's all labelled and ready to go onto the truck. But I'll show you what's the back end of the system looks like now. Pretty bare. Crazy. All done. Ready to go. There's the sump now. Just that line has to be reconnected to the bulkhead. I made sure to leave plenty of room for Josh to be able to easily reconnect things back up. So here's all the rocks. See how many there are. Probably about half a ton. I've just finished bringing them up to the garage from the backyard. And I'm a bit puffed out. Wheelbarrows full of this stuff. And all the plumbing as best as I can get it. 5-foot lights. All the 4-foot lights, you can see how they're stacked. Filter media. Various components, filters and heaters and thermometers. These are the pumps for the water changes. Inside here is some more rock and driftwood. All the AC power adapters for the lights. Various bits and pieces. Some more sand. Double-headed sponge filters. The egg crate for the sump. And under here, other return pumps for the sump. I just spilt everything. Anyway, I'll fix that back up. There's a spare air pump, quite an easy one. That should dust the job. What are you doing, buddy? What are you doing, buddy? It's a good boy. Anyway, it's all going today. Finally. Pretty stoked to have this chapter pretty much done. Gotta leave him, bud. He's a good boy.
We're going to strap the stand?
You've got to strap the stand at the top and just pick it up anyway. Yeah, throw the big straps over.
And with that, it is done. Truck's literally gone away now, and we're done. Can't believe it. Feels weird, but good at the same time.